The authors have no financial interest in this presentation.
Dr. Neha Dholakia presents the IOL cutting tip and forceps. Broken IOL complications have been the most dreaded complications for years. How often have we experienced this? The lens just shoots through and punctures the posterior capsule only to be removed and replaced by a 3-piece IOL. Beautiful cataract surgery, how disheartening to see one of the haptics broken or being left behind in the cartridge. The methods by which we can explant a lens are: 1. By extending the incision to 6 millimeters. Number 2. The twist and out technique, which requires a very skilled surgeon who's very swift. It can stretch the wound and cannot be performed in case of a posterior capsular rent. The third are the scissors, which open and close and can damage the endothelium or touch the PC and require a little bit of wound extension. Post-operatively, we can see striate keratitis, corneal edema, and sometimes even Descemet's detachment. Introducing Dr. Neha Dholakia's IOL cutting tip and forceps. On the right side, we see the special tip which cuts the IOL just like butter, and with the left hand held in my hand are the forceps which grasp the IOL really firmly so that we can give good counter pressure while slicing the IOL. The IOL can be sliced into 2, 3, 4 or 5 slivers. Each sliver can easily be removed through a 2.2 millimeter incision without having to extend the wound, stretch the wound, or create unnecessary astigmatism. This is what the tip looks like. One has to prime the phaco probe with the regular tip and then replace that tip with the IOL cutting tip. The forceps are made of steel as we require the tensile strength. The tip is made of titanium. All the surgeon has to do is grasp the IOL and press the foot pedal. We can see how easily, just like a hot knife through butter, the IOL gets cut into 3 smaller slivers. The temperature at the tip was checked and it was equal to the temperature at a normal phaco tip. The vacuum is kept at 0, aspiration at 0, power 30, 20 or 10%, and the irrigation has to be kept on to cool the tip. It's important to give good counter pressure with the special holding forceps. In industrial use, this is how a blade would cut a piece of plastic, and this is how an ultrasonic blade would cut through a piece of plastic. So it's already in use in industry. There are separate tips for separate machines as the tips vary in length mostly and sometimes in thickness and the threads. However, there is a tip for every machine. Case 1. A 65-year-old male patient, one-eyed, had come from out of India to get operated. He drove at night and wished to be specs-free for distance. During the primary surgery, the IOL got stuck in the cartridge, and in the process to disengage it from the cartridge, the IOL got pitted. The patient was 6'6" but complained of severe dysphotopsia. The IOL had to be replaced. If the wound had been extended or the twist and out technique, it would have stretched the wound. If scissors were used, it would have increased the incision and also could have caused endothelial damage. The patient had to travel back and he wanted to be specs free. So here the IOL cutter was used and the lens was sliced into 3 parts. There is liberal use of viscoelastic during each step in order to protect the endothelium, and each sliver of 2 millimeters is then removed from a 2.2 millimeter initial cataract incision. A new lens is implanted in the bag, and the patient on day 1, you can still see the air bubble, is plano 6/6 or 20/20 with crystal clear vision. The cornea is crystal clear and has no striate keratitis or corneal edema. Case 2. A 72-year-old lady, an opacified IOL, high hypermetrope of plus 32 diopters, a shallow anterior chamber. This is what the IOL cutting tip and the forceps look like. Very little manipulation had to be done as the anterior chamber was very shallow. We did not want any touch to the endothelium, and this is a thick lens which is hardened over time, and with no other technique could it have been removed with such ease. The third case, case number 3, another opacified IOL explanted, smaller slivers made. This is the tip, the sleeve and the phaco probe. The IOL is grasped firmly by the left hand with the help of the special IOL holding forceps. The jaws of these forceps open and close like a crocodile and are serrated on the inside so as to get a good grip of the IOL. They very ergonomically go through the side port, and the holding of the forceps is with the index finger and the thumb in a horizontal plane. Here the IOL is rotated and therefore once again cut into 4 smaller pieces. So what are the indications for explanting IOLs? Broken IOLs, as we have seen, opacified IOLs which cause disturbance in vision, dislocated IOLs or subluxated IOLs giving rise to dysphotopsias, IOL exchange in trifocal IOLs for intolerable halos and glare, refractive surprises. This we will see more and more as we will get more and more post-LASIK cases for cataract surgery. Just the way we keep a vitrectomy cutter, in case of emergency, we need to keep an IOL cutter just in case of emergency. So once more, for the last time, this is how the IOL cutting tip cuts the IOL into beautiful thin slivers. One should try it in vitro before using for the first time. Thank you very much for your patient listening.